Amid the news with me, Jonas Biaurubi. Coming up in today's news, organized labor in Northern Region celebrates International Workers' Day in Tamale with an appeal to government to grant a cost of living allowance of at least 20% to all public service workers. And the Kipsimin Gbala Foundation hands over 3-bedroom to 60-year-old widow in Yonduni. Coming up on the foreign front, Guinea's transition leader sets 13. My name is Jonas Biaurubi. Stay with us. You can also follow the bulletin live on Facebook, ZATV Ghana, on YouTube, ZATV Ghana. Let's get started this afternoon. An organized labor in Northern Region yesterday celebrated the International Workers' Day in Tamale with an appeal to government to grant a cost of living allowance of at least 20% to all public service workers. The COLA, according to TUC, must be extended to all workers in the private sector who are earning the minimum wage of 13.53% Ghana cedis per day and 365 Ghana cedis per month, and all pensioners on the SNIT payroll who are receiving a minimum pension of 300 cedis per month.
The union's proposed COLA will not only cushion workers and pensioners from the harsh effects of inflation, but, even more importantly, it will prevent prices of essential commodities, including food and fuel, continue to increase on a daily basis. Between January and March this year, fuel prices increased by over 50%. A litre of petrol is now selling at over 10 Ghana cedis. The union has therefore called on the government to suspend all taxes and levies on petrol, diesel, LPG and kerosene until the international price of crude oil and the value of the cedi are stabilized. This, it indicates, will bring down prices of fuel products and ease the burden on Ghanaians. COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. Felicia Kraja is the acting Northern Regional Secretary, TUC Ghana.
We therefore call on government to suspend all taxes and levies on petrol, diesel, LPG and kerosene until the international price of crude oil and value of cedi are stabilized. This will bring down prices of fuel products and ease the burden on Ghanaians. The 15% reduction offered by government is not enough. Suspending all taxes and levies of fuel products in these challenging times will also demonstrate to Ghanaians that our government really cares and it is ready to refine petroleum prices due to exchange rate fluctuations. In 2007, when the cedi was denominated, one cedi exchanged for approximately $1. Today, one cedi is just about 13 cents. The cedi has lost 87% of its value in the last 15 years. If the cedi had not been redenominated, the exchange rate would be about 76,000 to just $1. At the current exchange rate, the impact of the depreciation of the cedi, not only in terms of its effect on fuel prices, but also effects on cost of imported goods, medicine, and other essentials.
TUC further indicates that successive governments have failed to make progress in the creation of decent jobs. It has urged the president to challenge the national development. TUC further indicates that successive governments have failed to make progress in the creation of decent jobs. It has urged the president to challenge the National Development Planning Commission and provide it with the necessary resources to develop a credible plan for the creation of decent jobs in all the 16 regions of the country.
Currently, about 2 million Ghanaians have some form of decent employment, out of nearly 11.5 million people in the labor force. That means over 9 million Ghanaians are either unemployed, underemployed, or they are working for living in the informal, where many of them work long hours in a day under very unsafe and unhealthy conditions for incomes that are below the national minimum wage. We believe that the lack of decent employment is the main reason why many Ghanaians have died in poverty, and many people are still living in poverty and destitute, endowed with many natural resources. It is now very clear to us that no single political party can solve the problems of joblessness in Ghana. Therefore, we need to move away from the partisan and winner-takes-all approach to dealing with the unemployment crisis and build consensus among all stakeholders on the way forward. The National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, can lead this process. Honorable Minister, we urge you to challenge the and provide it with the necessary resources to develop a credible plan for the creation of decent jobs in all the 16 regions of the country. It will be acceptable to all stakeholders, including the two major political parties, NPP and NDC, so that it can be implemented consistently, regardless of the political party in power.
And now some public service workers are asking the government to review the salaries of workers upwards to help them deal with the recent economic hardships in the country. They say recent fuel increment coupled with skyrocketing prices of goods and services are taking a toll on the Ghanaian worker.
The call was made in Tamale on May 1 during the Northern Regional May Day celebration under the theme Protecting Jobs and Income in the Era of COVID-19 Pandemic and Beyond. The workers demanded an increase in salaries to match the high cost of living. The unions at this year's celebration also pleaded with the government to review workers' salaries as well as taxes to reduce the financial burden on the ordinary Ghanaian worker. They argued that the pandemic has brought a lot of hardship that have worsened the living standards of the average employee. The celebration saw several workers from different companies across the region converge at the Tamale Jubilee Park to commemorate the day. This year's celebration saw some outstanding workers who have excelled in their line of duty being rewarded. Here are some workers speaking to...
We're happy to get because it's expensive now. It's so hard. And it should be everywhere. Prices are increasing. When the salary is they say very short.
We want to urge government to control the cost of petrol. We are the backbone of our delivery. And if we don't have a good network, it will affect energy flow to even produce those who distribute. So people is the key stakeholder in terms of the delivery. That's why we call ourselves the backbone delivery. And we also want to urge government to give us the support, and support, lift the company from this economic difficulties. So, and we are calling our regional minister to organize and then organize labor group in Tamale to look at something like the cost of cement and other materials with the Diamond Cement Company and then the Savannah Cement Company to make sure that the cement price are reduced, because we don't see as though we have a cement factory in the northern region, one cement is so high. So we are calling on the regional minister to also set the organized labor and all the workers' unions, including SABASEM, to make sure that at least cement prices are reduced.
One of the smaller number can also do.
Meanwhile, Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Shani Al-Hassan Saibu has called for sustained dialogue among businesses, organized labor and government on improving post-pandemic resilience for citizens. He says Ghana's economy was severely hit.
Societal approach that involves all stakeholders. All parts of the society need to contribute to this effort with the sense of shared responsibility, because social dialogue and collective bargaining can play a key role. Our appeal to organize harmony and decision making. It is always appropriate for workers to channel all grievances to the legally mandated institutions responsible for their welfare, including the Labour Commission, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, among for arbitration and amicable settlement before resorting to demonstrations and strikes. Madam Chairperson, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, unity in diversity helps in resolving and solving social problems, promote cooperation and peaceful living. The concept of living in diversity is integral for the overall development and progress of human society. Let us join hands to promote unity of peace building through respect for our diversity, so as to
Road ready! Road ready! Road ready!
Away from May-Day celebration, let's do some stories of benevolence. And Kipsimin Gbala Foundation, a social media platform made up of different professionals with interest in supporting the needy in society, on Saturday handed a 3-bedroom house to a 60-year-old woman in Yongduni. The foundation was established 4 years ago, initially by 3 people abroad, with the aim of ensuring the welfare of needy orphans and assisting to secure cemeteries across the country. It has a membership of over 500 dedicated to providing humanitarian services.
The foundation provides support in the form of clothing, shelter, and food 4 times a year to the poor.
As an elderly woman in Kumasi, being that it really touched members of the group, then we decided to get in touch with her, even to get her a place to lay her head and to put some money into her to start doing some small petty trade, to attend school and to attend Makarata. So that is how we got to know this Masana, and members were interested and were able to put contribution to put up this building for her.
About 100 orphans from Yongduni and Wayamba were given new dresses to celebrate Eid al-Fitr. The widow, Asana Salifu, thanked the foundation for ensuring she has a decent place to lay her head. She told Zanews she was living with her late husband's sister in Kumasi, and after her death, she had no option than to engage in kayaye. Yelman Pema Dundong Women's Group also presented 1,000 Ghana cedis to the widow for her upkeep. Leader of the group, Fatih Husseini, spoke to Zanews.
Maniye Yelman Pema Magaji, Kankana and Peppers. Group ma Yelman Pema Mariela Pahanzo Catadian Nandale. Buzo Catrania Kay, the man Nambwa Pamatuku, she a Catama, Nanda Wahala. Buzo the 2 Netabakutum Mudiala. Kayelman Pema Pambajin Kazan Katamana. Nzang 10 million natatim Masana. Ni Masana Ndida Kuku.
Now, MTN Ghana has donated bags of rice, cooking oil, assorted drinks. The annual donation is part of the telecom giant's support to the Muslims ahead of Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan. The donation, it said, affirms MTN's appreciation for Muslims' support, patronage and loyalty to MTN over the years. Presenting the items to the Chief Imam on Friday, MTN Regional Branches Manager Asei Kwame Akuni Odote Mengel said the company recognizes some responsibilities and families now falls on the office of the Regional Chief Imam, especially during this month of Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr, noting some families will depend on his office for support.
MTN Ghana, as a partner of nationwide support to the regional chief imams, has provided support to the Muslim community for the past 10 years. MTN presented similar donations to the national chief imam, Ashanti and Western regional chief imams ahead of the celebration. According to MTN Ghana, the past 2 years have not been normal due to the coronavirus pandemic, which restricted Muslims from coming together to pray. It said even though the situation with the pandemic has subsided and restrictions lifted, the virus still exists and urged Muslim communities to continue to observe all laid down protocols to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. A team has also been stationed at the Central Mosque to assist customers register their SIMs with the Ghana card. Regional Chief Imam Sheikh Abdul Salam Ahmed thanked MTN for their continued support and prayed for Allah's blessing and protection of
our Chief Imam, our Regional Chief Imam, because of the kind of responsibilities that are expected. People's lives have been affected, people's livelihoods have also been affected. And so it's a kind of partnership that we have had with him over the past 10 years. And so we're here to present a few items. We presented 5 bags of rice, we presented 5 cartons of cooking, 2,000 Ghana cedis as cash, and then a very big ram as well. And then also 500 Ghana cedis worth of eating airtime have also been presented to him. So this is just our support to him so he can also extend to the other people who fall on him for their livelihood. Secondly, we also want to mention that SIM registration is still ongoing, and so we are at various vantage points so that people can come to us and come and register, coming with their Ghana cards, getting them linked, and coming along with their digital address so we can register them. The setup will be done here.
Let's now do some international news, and Guinea's military leader Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya announced a 39-month transition period before the country returns to civilian rule. The announcement was made during a speech broadcast on television on Saturday. Colonel Doumbouya added that the measure would be subject to the National Transitional Council acting as Parliament. The announcement followed the creation of what the military leader described as an inclusive consultation framework in April. The resulting conference culminated in a boycott by several prominent political groups. Regional bloc ECOWAS had set last Monday as a deadline for putting forward an acceptable transition timetable or risk economic and financial sanctions. And riot police in Istanbul detained at least 25 protesters trying to reach Taksim Square for May 1st International Labour Day celebrations. Security forces attempted to block press members from recording footage of the arrest and encircled protesters to rapidly detain them. Taksim Square holds a political group in Turkey celebrating May 1st as it was the site of an armed attack that led the death of 34 labor protesters in 1977 and mass anti-government Gezi Park protests in 2013. Access to the city center is usually blocked off by the police. Only small wreath-laying ceremonies to commemorate Labor Day. And on that note, we draw the curtains down to this afternoon's news before I take leave of few stories that made our major headlines. Organized labor in Northern Region celebrates International Workers' Day in Tamale with an appeal to government to grant a cost of living allowance of at least 20% to all public service workers. Chipsimin Gbala Foundation hands over 3-bedroom to 60-year-old widow in Yongduni. And Guinea's transition leader says 39 months before civilian rule. Many thanks for being a part of this afternoon's news. My name is Jonas Biaurbi. Follow us ZAR TV Ghana on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Have a good afternoon.